Adam C, and welcome to a video filmed not outside but inside by a wardrobe over here that's white. This is a video about carhuddle.com, the free online car show directory, but more than that, it is a video about all of the car shows this year that you need to attend. As I'm based in the UK, I'm going to mainly base this around UK events. So if you want to come over to the UK, these are some of the events that we've got on offer, the best ones, because obviously I go to loads of events. I normally have like a diary, but now I just use Car Huddle, and I've got that in front of me on my laptop. I'm going to scroll down and show you all the events that I think you should go to. So seeing as it is pretty much April now, I'm going to start this from April. I won't be covering the smaller events because they will be posted up like weeks before, whereas these are the main events that I'm covering. If you want to find about the smaller events, you just need to keep an update on carhuddle.com. They'll be added periodically throughout the year, so like the smaller car park meets and other ones to do with that. So what I see as the start of the calendar for myself personally is Wheels Day down at Rushmore Arena. And last year I won the top 10 in show with my Cobra, and this is my trophy that sits nicely on my windowsill, which is not actually in reach. But
I'm sorry.
And Wheels Day this year is on the 19th of April, and it starts about 10 o'clock, and it's for muscle cars and hot rods.
Sorry. I'm making calm down. I'm sorry. Continue.
It's hosted by the Silent Streets Rodders, so it is predominantly hot rods, but there's muscle cars, a few supercars, and some kit cars as well, and classics, so it's a good one to go to for a nice all-round meet. Come in the room, it's fine. The next meet on the calendar that I think is a good one is Beauty Simply Audi. Now, Beauty Motor Museum hosts a number of events throughout the year called Simply. They've got Simply Audi, Simply Porsche, and I'll be covering all the other ones later on. But Beauty Simply Audi is the first one, and that's on the 21st of April. Now with Beauty Simply events, you can turn up in the car appropriate. So for Simply Audi, you can turn up in your Audi, and you can arrive about 8:30 or 9 and get in for a discounted price in your appropriate car, or for public it starts at 10 AM, and that's the case for all of the Simply events. Next on the event is the Santa Pod Festival of Power. Now this is one of many events at Santa Pod throughout the year, and this one is on the 19th to the 21st of April. Next is the Bicester Heritage Sunday Scramble. This is a great event. Thousands of classic cars turn up. I turned up in my Cobra last year, and I went in my 350Z this year just because I couldn't be bothered to get cold. And that is on the 28th of April, which is also Drive It's Day, so they are celebrating the day to drive your car and get out, because it's probably the start of slightly warmer weather in this country. Next on Car Huddle is the Wilson Wake Up. This is probably one of the last events in April, being on the 28th of April, starting about 8 AM. This is the breakfast meet at Wilson House, which is near Salisbury, and this is for iconic performance cars. They host many different themes, such as iconic performance cars, supercars throughout the year, and this is the first of them. Now next in May is another event that many believe is the start of the car show season, and that is Brooklands Auto Italia. As the name states, it is for Italian cars, so Ferraris, Fiats, Maseratis, Lamborghinis, lots of cars, supercars, classic cars attend, and it's a great event, very popular, and that's on the 4th of May at 8:30 AM.
I'm actually going to that one.
We can do.
Fun.
Next is Jap Fest at Silverstone. That is at 10 AM on the 5th of May. That is a huge event again for just Japanese cars at Silverstone. I took my RX-8 down there last year after just getting it. That's such a great event. I really recommend that one. Again, thousands of cars turn up, all Japanese. There's drifting and all sorts. All this information can be found out on the event pages on Car Huddle. We've also got Beauty Simply Ford on the same day. Bit of a clash there, unfortunately. That's at 10 AM on the 5th. That's for Ford, so I can imagine lots of you Focus RS fans turn up. Then we've got the Beauty Spring Auto Jumble on the 18th and 19th of May, and that is a huge car boot sale without any car boots. It's an auto jumble, if you know what that is. So this is the smaller event of the two in the year. The International Auto Jumble later in the year is a huge event. The Spring Auto Jumble I haven't been to, but it's a slightly smaller one, but it's still a lot of stalls, so a bit different. So that's on the 18th and the 19th of May. In June we've got Beauty Simply Porsche on the 2nd at 10 AM. Again, just like the Simply events, this is for Porsches. And we've also got Goodwood Supercar Sunday clashing with that, but I would personally recommend Supercar Sunday because that is another huge event. It is one of many Goodwood breakfast clubs throughout the year, each one having a theme as well, and this is the supercar one. This is the biggest one, all for supercars, and it's just such a crowded event. You have to go on their website, Southern Car Huddle. You have to sign up on the Goodwood website for the event, whether you want to spectate or bring your supercar. So you need to do that with enough time. And being a breakfast meet, they start at about 7:30 to 8 a.m. And the next one down the line on the 9th of June is the Santa Pod Jap Show. That starts at 8 a.m. and again, it's for Japanese cars. If you like that kind of thing, which I'm sure loads of you do. Then we've got the Sharnbrook Bedfordshire Italian Cars and Bikes Day. As the name states, it's for Italian cars and bikes, and it's hosted at the Sharnbrook Hotel in Bedfordshire. And that starts at 11 a.m, which is a little bit later than some events, but for me, it gives me a bit of time to get up there because it's like 2 hours away from me, so that's great. But that's on the 23rd of June, and it's one of many Sharnbrook events. And then finally, on the 22nd and the 23rd of June, we have Players Classic at Goodwood Motor Circuit. And again, this is for retro cars, old Triumphs, old Austin Healeys, mostly modified, so slammed to the ground, and great unique show to see them on the lawn of Goodwood Motor Circuit. It's a really good event. And then later in the year, on the 15th of September, is the Players Show at North Weald Airfield, and that one is for the more modern modified cars. Now in July we have the Goodwood Festival of Speed, which some say is the best car show in the world or in the country. That is on the 5th and the 7th of July, and I go to that event every year. I've probably been about 10 to 15 times in my life. A huge event. Thousands upon thousands of people attend, and if you haven't been to the Goodwood Festival of Speed, if you are in this country or any other country in the world, I really recommend making the trip down here, book a hotel and spend 2 days, 3 days, maybe even 4 days there if you are an absolute mentalist.
Oh my god, they're selling out. There's not many Goodwood Festival Speed tickets left.
Oh, they're not?
No.
What? Really?
Yeah. Saturday, the grandstands are all booked.
Next in July we have Brooklands Supercar Sunday, another flagship Brooklands event on the 14th, starting about 9 a.m. A great one to attend because it's nice and sunny in July. That's our kind of little gap of sun. And then later we have Beauty Simply Japanese, which is another must for you JDM fans, a huge Japanese event at Beauty Motor Museum on the 28th of July about 10 a.m. And then on the same weekend, from the 26th to the 28th of July, we have Carfest North. You've also got Carfest South, which is on the 23rd to the 25th of August, of the following month, for the southern people in the country. And you need to book early. You need to make sure you get those tickets on the day that they are sold, because they go within maybe 2 hours. So you need to make sure you're on it, absolutely on it. But that's like a festival with cars and music and food and all sorts, and it's a great one to attend. Next in August we have the Beauty Supercar Weekend, which is a bit like their Simply events, but it's spread over a whole weekend on the 3rd and 4th of August, and it's for supercars, and there's cars going up and down the little straight, it's 100-metre straight, accelerations to be had. There's some action to be seen as well, and it's just a nice atmosphere. And on the same weekend, on the 4th, is Goodwood Classic Car Sunday. That's about 7:30 or 8 a.m, so it's again thousands of classic cars. And then the next event in August is another Wilson Wake Up event, the Fast and Exotic Supercars. So that is their supercar event. There are others throughout the year, you can find them on Car Huddle, but these are the ones that I recommend going to. So that's on the 18th, that's about 8 a.m. Now in September we've got the Beauty International Auto Jumble. I mentioned the spring one earlier, this is the international one, the great one. This is on 2 days, the 7th and the 8th of September. Next in September we have Sharnbrook Hotel's flagship event, their Supercar Sunday, which is on the 8th of September at about 11 a.m, and that's another popular event, but you do need to book in advance even if you want to spectate. And then we have the Goodwood Revival on the 13th and the 15th of September, and we like that event. Yes, so that is a classic event. I dressed up in tweed and all nice, and it's basically all the cars that were racing at Goodwood when the motor circuit was in action back in the 50s and 60s, and you dress up of that era and watch the cars of that era go around the circuit. So in October, Brooklands seem to have a monopoly because not a lot of main events happen in October. So on the 13th they have the Autumn Motorsport Day, and then later on in the month, on the 27th, we have Awesome Classic Breakfast, which is more of a breakfast meet where you turn up in your classic car. There's not as much action happening. Now in November, the main event to attend is the NEC Classic. Now that's on the 8th, and that's hosted at the NEC in Birmingham, and it's an indoor classic car show. And that's great because November is often grey, drizzly and cold, so at least you're indoors. Now in December you've got Christmas, so don't go to car shows. And January next year, 2020, we're already talking about 2020, but January the 1st is the Brooklands New Year's Classic Car Gathering, and that's probably the best show to attend if you are not hungover. If you're hungover, stay at home and have a nap. But that is the year to come in car shows. I hope it's been useful for you. I hope you haven't been spending the whole video trying to find a pen and paper to write it down. If that's the case, just go onto Car Huddle and search for them. You can search via event title, category, organizer, location, or just via date. If you're not doing anything this weekend, you can have a look. Let's see what's on this weekend. We've got Lambo Lockdown. That sounds entertaining. But this was my recommendation of the cars I think you should go to if you haven't maybe been to some before, or if you're looking at coming over to the UK and experiencing some of our better events if you are an international viewer. So I hope you enjoy that video. Don't forget to follow the link in the description for the Car Huddle website. That is carhuddle.com. But for now, thanks for watching.